Norwegian Cruise Lines cancels 41 cruises. And the reason why might surprise you.
MSC continues to target the American market, but will it make a difference?
A court in France has told a Nice mayor to pound sand after he went after a Royal Caribbean ship in a little dinghy. And that's where we're going to start. All right, Suzanne. So what's the actual story here?
Okay, so back in January, this mayor, this Christian Estrosi in Nice, basically wrote a decree that they were going to ban cruise ships over 2,500 passengers coming into port. And after 2026, they were going to cut it down to no cruise ships with over 1,000 passengers. So around the beginning of July, a couple of weeks ago, a Royal Caribbean ship pulls into port with about 3,600 passengers. It's the Royal Caribbean Navigator of the Seas. And then take it from here.
Yeah. So basically, real quick, though, his angle is environmental. Is that right? Is that correct?
Right. He just thinks these gigantic mega ships are terrible for global warming. They pollute the environment. So he wants to just ban them altogether.
And the day in question, and this was earlier in the month.
Yes.
It's a little bit of an older story with an update, but he basically sees the ship coming.
Yes.
Decides that he's going to grab himself a rubber boat, little dinghy looking thing.
Yeah.
Hop in it, looking like Ernie and Bert, and paddle himself out there. Yeah. Probably had a bullhorn, and he's just going to wag his finger and yell at the ship.
Yeah. Well,
and there's pictures of this. It's ridiculous.
There are, and it's right here is a picture from the original event. It wasn't quite a dinghy, but it looked like it was a rubber boat.
Yeah.
It was a police boat, and there was a TV camera crew on board with him. So we know what the real purpose of this whole stunt was.
Right. So
probably re-election time.
Probably re-election time. This thing goes to court.
Right.
And what's the person who runs the port there? What is that person called?
That person's called prefect. And the court found that only the prefect has the authority to manage ships coming in and out of port and setting schedules and setting how many times a year they can come and how many passengers can get off and on. And in fact, it was the prefect that took the mayor to court.
Nice. And they basically called him incompetent and told him to get a new boat. They said, get a real boat if you're going to do this. But no, they didn't do that. But what they did say was that he was incompetent.
Yeah. So he basically, the mayor says he's going back to court. He's going to sue the state. But in reality, the cruising industry brings about $10 million a year to Nice. It may not seem like a lot, but overall, it's a much bigger picture and much larger amount for the surrounding areas.
Right.
So they don't want to lose that sweet, sweet cruise money.
That's sweet, sweet. He complained about that too. Didn't he say that the people getting off the ships were cheap and didn't spend a lot of money and they pollute up the joint?
And they threw their garbage everywhere.
Yeah. All right. What's next?
So MSC continues its push to make big inroads into the American market this year. Yeah.
It seems like this has been going on for a few years now, where they're bound and determined to knock out the big guys here in the United States. And this company is owned by a huge shipping company. It's family owned, but it's billions and billions of dollars. So they've got a lot of weight behind them to make this push. And they're doing big things.
So they started off in early February with a Super Bowl ad. They had Drew Barrymore and Orlando Bloom. So they really wanted to get their brand out there.
Right. They're operating 23 ships now.
23 ships.
Yeah.
They're building a new terminal in Galveston.
Yeah, that's big news.
They're going to launch one of their mega ships from there. They want to make it easier for people from all over the country to access MSC ships. That's going to be their fourth port in the United States.
Yeah. They're still relatively minor compared to Royal and Norwegian and the Carnival group, but they are pushing ahead.
And what's interesting is with Royal and with Carnival, a large large portion of their cruisers are American. And with MSC, it's kind of flipped. It's still about 50-60% Europeans cruising on the ship.
Right. And I think one of the complaints you'll hear a lot about MSC is that the food is a Mediterranean kind of try to appeal to a lot of palates, and a lot of Americans describe it as bland. Mm-hmm. So if they're going to make a big push in America, don't you think they got to up their food game? Up the food game. That's right. That's the best way to put it. They are launching an Alaskan season in the summer of 2026.
Yeah, so they're bringing a mid-sized ship up there. Yep, that's something new for them.
That's right. They're blazing new trails.
Blazing new trails. Yeah. So we'll see in the coming years what happens with MSC, if they're going to take some of that Royal and Carnival cruise dollars.
You know, the cruise industry is growing leaps and bounds right now. And all of these cruise lines are adding ships and everything. So really, it might just be a new extension that they're all doing, and it'll all be absorbed by all the new business coming in.
Well, they sure know how to build ships. Their ships are spectacular. They're beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. And their introductory price is right. Yeah. You know, a lot of people say too, though, once you do the add-ons on that cruise line, you're pretty much back up to a Norwegian or a Royal. So.
But if 50 or 60% of their customers are European, they do have that more expensive flight.
That's right. That's right. All right. And moving right along.
To the next story.
How many cruises were? 41 were canceled. 41.
Yeah. It basically affects two ships, the Norwegian Prima and the Norwegian Breakaway are the only two ships effective. And it's basically between November 2026 to March 2027 sailings. And what they're calling it, what Norwegian is calling it, is a fleet redeployment. What they're doing is they are swapping itineraries.
Yeah. And I've kind of been jumping all over this, but the truth is, I think the way they're doing this, if you have to do it, this is the way to do it, because they took all these people that were on this one ship. They swapped the ships. Is what they did. They swapped them. And what they're doing is they just said, we'll cancel them all. Rather than tell all these people over here, oh, by the way, you're on a new ship. And you over here, you're on a new ship. And that wasn't going to work because
they're two different classes of ships.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you paid for, and then you'd be really upset.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So they're giving folks 10% as a credit, so they're able to rebook.
Yeah.
They can choose to stay on the ship that they originally were on, but now it's a different itinerary, or they can go to the other itinerary on the new ship with 10%.
Right. And the biggest no harm, no foul of this whole thing is it's a year and a half away.
Right.
And, we were talking about this.
Right.
You haven't even asked for the time off of work yet.
You haven't booked your dog sitter.
Yeah. You haven't bought the plane ticket. Yeah. I mean, you haven't done any of that. So you're just basically getting 10% off for a little bit of a massaging. Yeah. If you're under 40, you don't even know if you're going to make that cruise. Life changes so much.
You might be pregnant and not even able to cruise.
Right. So it's really not that big a deal in the end of the day, but it's fun to make fun of it and have a little fun with it.
But
41.
But they did the right thing by offering
100%.
Those cruise credits.
100%. It's just a lot. Boy, you hear 41 cruises canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something else. But no harm, no foul.
Well, thanks for sticking around and staying through all these stories. And we hope to see you next time on.
Yeah. One more. Hit that subscribe button.
Subscribe, like, and comment. We will answer all your comments. It'll really help out the channel if you hit subscribe. We appreciate it.
Thanks for watching Gen X Cruise Life.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.